Virgo. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. This is a general reading for April 2025. My name is Carol, and this is a channel that focuses on you. And in particular, I'm focusing on your healing journey, getting back to your authentic self, the person that you're always meant to be. And so in today's reading, I'm going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And I really like this reading because it really gives me a good glimpse of where you're sitting right now. And so I'm going to start off by pulling a card that looks at what issue you're dealing with. If it's a decision, a problem, a pattern that's showing up in your life. And then I'm going to look at the conscious influence on that. And by that, I mean what you're very much aware of. And a lot of times it's like... It's very well, it's related to the situation you're in, and it just gives me a bit more information and what you see. And then I'm going to look at what I see in the unconscious influence. It's something that you don't see. It'll be something that you need to heal. It'll be something that's buried in your shadow that relates to and is really having the most impact on this situation that you're sitting with right now. And then I'll look at what's needed for resolution. And I'll look at some guidance from the tarot, because I really don't like to leave you with, okay, this is your problem, and then you trying to figure out, like, I don't know where to go or how to do this. So I will actually, the tarot will actually give you where you can start and what you need to heal. And then I'll leave you with a playlist or maybe another video that I think would really help you in this situation that is taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And you can have a look at that if you want. So, and then I'll end with the Shaman's Dream with an oracle card for you that has really been helping a lot, I think, to kind of solidify what I've been saying. I'm going to use the Curious Travels deck today, and then I'll be clarifying it with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And I'm going to put you on speed shuffle so I can sort out your reading here, and I'll be back in about 3 seconds. All right, Virgo, I'm back. Apparently, I'm going to be I clarified with this smaller, I know it's not that important, this little Rider-Waite deck. I thought I was going to do the Radiant, but all of a sudden I had that in my hand. I'm like, oops, got the wrong one. So that's what I was supposed to use. All right, so we're going to start off with what issue, situation, problem you're dealing with right now. You have the Knight of Cups, and it was clarified by the Five of Pentacles for me. Let's look at the Knight first of all. You have another Knight of Swords here, so you get a couple Knights in your deck. So the Knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters. It's a part of you. We all have it. It's the part that wants to be free. And it's an adolescent part. So if you think of an adolescent, they want two things. They want to be free from control, and they want to be free to be their authentic selves. This is the Knight of Cups. Cups is all about our emotions, all about our desires, our wishes. I feel like there's this part of you that is wanting to be free to have authentic relationships, and wants to be free to feel all your emotions, and maybe there's a part of you that is feeling like you're being controlled right now, because this is what this Knight can feel like right now. Because there's this Five of Pentacles that's sitting behind it, and it clarified things for me. The Five of Pentacles talks about this. I mean, look at this individual. He's got a broken pentacle in front of him, and he's and very upset and crying. And there's these two hands that are reaching out saying, listen, we've got 4 more up here for you. It's like, and yet your focus is on this broken pentacle and not seeing the help that's out there for you. It's like you're sitting in a spot right now where you don't feel like you deserve authentic relationships. You deserve to be able to feel and to love and to offer your cup of love to someone else and have that back, right? Because if we don't feel that, if we don't feel like we're worthy enough, we're going to continue to invite people in our space that show us how we feel about ourselves. And so I did ask for another card here. And this is this King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, well, first of all, like I said, the pentacle itself, because you did have the Five of Pentacles here, the pentacle can be, talk about our self-worth. The pentacle is our body. It's our material world. It's our health. And I'm wondering, I have to go back to this Knight of Cups, and maybe you're sitting in a bit of, maybe you're sitting in some hopelessness, some depression. Maybe you have some anger too, because that part of us that wants that freedom, and it's a part of us that needed love, that wants to love and wants to have authentic relationships. It will often feel hopeless, because you think you're never ever going to get that. You're never going to get the real love in your life that you've been wanting. And the King of Pentacles is our masculine side of us. It's the ego self. And it'll be the one that continues to say things to us, to keep us small, to keep us where we are, because it's trying to protect us. And so it'll be that one that sometimes repeats things to us when we were younger, saying, you don't deserve this. You can't do this, or you can't have this, and it'll very much block these emotions, this unworthiness that you're feeling right now. It doesn't want you to, to go inwards and start to feel that yucky unworthiness that you're feeling about yourself, which is really shame. And so it'll block that, because our ego self doesn't like emotions. It likes to keep you up in your head, right? It likes to keep you up in your head, doesn't want you to go in your body and feel these emotions, yet we have to be in our body to feel all these emotions. And so there's this you're struggling right now with your unworthiness, and for some reason it's related to something, maybe something you want to do for yourself, or maybe something you have to do, but there's a real, I don't deserve this. Maybe I don't deserve happiness for myself, right? That could be it too. And so in this conscious influence, we're going to look at what you're aware of around this situation. So you have the Hierophant card here in reverse. The Hierophant card speaks about, look at this ego, this wise ego here. Owl, I should say. Oh, I said ego, but owl. And he's kind of prophesizing, and he's telling these individuals something, and they're listening. They're like sponges, and they're taking it in. They've traveled far to get to this wise owl to get this information from. It's in reverse. When you were younger, you were a sponge. You picked up things from your caretakers. You heard what they said, and you internalized them. You've heard things like, you don't matter, your emotions don't matter. Things that were said about you, you internalized in that, and we continue on in our life to believe that. It's the way that we were wired. The Hierophant card is, what are these things that you believe in yourself? What have you been told? What's good and what's bad? Our moral sense of anything. And this card comes up. It's saying, it's time now that maybe you need to look at, how are you wired? Because there's a real need here for some rewiring to take place. But you got to look at, first of all, what needs to be rewired. How am I wired around how I feel about certain things? The Moon card says, well, right here, I think you're aware that there's some things that are hidden, and that's what the Moon card comes out and says. There are things that can are hidden. There are things that need to come out. I think you know that. There are things that need to come out around what you were taught, how you were wired. I think you're aware that there's some things here. And then you have the Fool card that comes out right behind it. Interesting card to come out. The Fool card comes out not often, but it'll come out when there's a real need for you to take a leap of faith, to really take a leap of faith here. I think you have to trust that the universe is trying to take you in this direction here. It's trying to pull you towards, looking at What is this? Looking at your unworthiness. Where does it come from? Why do you think you don't deserve this? It's really time for you to get pulled in that direction. And the universe wants you to kind of step into it like a real innocent person and assume that you don't know, because oftentimes our ego can come out and make us think certain things, but it's almost like it wants you to come out with the freshness of the eyes of a child and say, okay, I'm here, I'm open to learning, I'm open to learning, you know, what I need to learn, how I was wired, what sort of things are hidden from me. And I think you know that, like, I think you know that there's kind of a sensing a different direction, and you maybe needing to kind of come at this with fresh eyes, but there's a real fear. There's always a fear when we're trying to kind of change directions here for yourself. There's a real fear behind that and a resistance to doing that. So let's take a look at what's sitting in your unconscious. What's the unconscious influence here? This is what needs to heal. This is what's from your childhood. This is what's going to explain about, you know, maybe some unworthiness you have that around this, and why you feel like you can't have whatever it is, authentic relationships, happiness, a certain area in your life. So you start off with the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is having this beautiful, I mean, look at this in an upright position. Look at these, almost like these two children at the bottom feeling like they're stars. Like, I mean, their heads are stars, and they feel like they're shining. Why? Because the Ten of Cups is our emotions. It's the end of the pip cards. It's all of the emotions. It's that full, beautiful rainbow of emotions that we all are meant to feel. And we're all meant to have love come in. We're all meant to give out our love. We're all meant to feel all of these emotions, including, you know, our unworthiness and our shame and our fear and our anger, all of those emotions. But when you were younger, when you tried to show your anger or different emotions, you were told that, you're not allowed to have full range of all those emotions. So somewhere along the line, you learned when you were younger to, I'm going to put those emotions away because they're not safe for me. You were told that you put those emotions away. They're not safe for you. And so when it's coming time here to really look at how the way you were wired when you were younger, it's like, I can't, that's not safe. I was told that I'm not allowed to take up these emotions and start to feel what's going on here, especially this unworthiness that you feel. When you were younger, there was, you know, this ace here, this Ace of Wands. And so what is this Ace of Wands that's sitting in your shadow? The Ace of Wands is like a gift from the universe. It's like an offer that's saying, there's a new direction for you. There's something you're meant to do. There's a direction for you, because the wand is our purposeful direction we're meant to take. When you were younger, you knew exactly, you know, where you were supposed to go, believe it or not, what you were supposed to do. And I think you might have tried. Maybe you tried to go out on a limb, you know, you tried to maybe, because it seems like there's somewhere you want to go. You've got this freedom fire that's pulling for you here. And you got the Fool, which is kind of saying, hey, there's a new direction for you. I think you tried when you were younger. And he was like, oh no. And what came up was, you're not allowed to do that. Who do you think you are? That's a crazy idea. And so you put that away because you weren't allowed to have those feelings of, wow, I'd love to do that. That would be a cool thing to do. And you were told, no, that's not safe. Put that away. That's a stupid idea. That's a creative idea. No, put that away. Because you have the King of Swords right behind it. And the King is our masculine side. It's our ego self. We've already, you already have one king right here, Pentacles. This time it's the King of Swords. It's the one about authenticity, your real self, your true self. I did say at the beginning that this channel is about getting to your authentic self. Well, the ego self wants nothing to do with authenticity because it was unsafe for you when you were younger to want to take out your authentic self, to say, I want to do that. And you found out really young that was unsafe. No, no, you're not allowed to dream. Cups are about dreaming big. You're not allowed to dream big. You're not allowed to have big wishes when you were younger. And then this Page of Cups explains a lot. And this is why you are struggling with your relationships right now. Because you have this little page. Pages in my deck are about your inner children. They represent your inner children. And in particular, this little Page of Cups is probably out of all the inner children that you need to meet. And we have more than one. And this one is the little love seeker. It's the one that has the cup, the love. It has the one that has love backing it up. And if you want to talk about the most powerful emotion in the world, it's love. And when you were younger, you needed that love. And you didn't get it. You know, you didn't get that unconditional love when you were younger. And this little part of you is blocked. It needs healing. And especially if there's any page, like I said, this is the one you want because it'll cause the most chaos in your life. Because we will continue as an adult to try to get that love that this little page, didn't get when you were younger. And it'll continue to invite toxic people into our environment. And so we find ourselves going like, why do I keep inviting these people? Well, I thought I learned the last time I swore I would never invite, that would never happen to me again. And, you know, it could be family members. It could be intimate partners. It could be friends, the same type of friends, or the same friend that you've decided to let back in your life again. Because we have this little part called the love seeker that's just trying to get that love. And so it'll continue to repeat the same patterns, painful patterns over and over again until it's healed, until we've got back to the original pain of what happened to us when we were younger. And so it needs healing. We need to grieve that little part of us. They need to tell us what happened. And then you get the Ace of Pentacles, another ace. You have two aces. And this is that offer of the pentacle, your body, when you were younger. When you were younger, you knew exactly who you were when you were younger. You were very grounded at 4, 5, 6 years old. But when you were younger and you weren't allowed to feel, you didn't get that love that you needed. And you had all these emotions that you needed to feel, but you didn't feel in a safe enough place. And so what happens is our ego self will come in and it'll put us up in our head because it's safe up here. Because there's no emotions up here. Our emotions are in our body when we're grounded. And so that's what's happening right here is I think there's this real need for you to go inwards and start to get in touch with this unworthiness. And so, but your ego self is blocking it and keeping you up in your head. What's needed for resolution for you, Virgo? Well, I think there's some sort of, the Three of Pentacles comes in. I love this. I was really called to this deck. I just did a reading before this, and I did Leo before this, and I was using the Ehrenberg Tarot, and I wanted to use it again. I thought I could use this, and I kept on hearing, no, you need this deck. You need the Curious Travels deck. And I'm like, I want to use that Ehrenberg Tarot. I just had it. I'd shuffled it again, and I said, no, you need to go, because of this card, I think. And I'm going to be honest with you, this card fell out. It was one of the cards that fell out. It was this one, and I think it was a king that fell out, your ego self. This one fell out, and it came back. I look at this. I love this card because the Three of Pentacles for me, this is a healing channel. So the Three of Pentacles always speaks about getting back into therapy. Going to therapy, getting back into it, getting some help. Because the Three of Pentacles is a card of co-creation, working with someone else. But in particular, this has dolphins on it. And it came to me, I don't know, a few months ago, what this meant, this card. It was like, for myself, I've been in intensive therapy for 8 years for my own complex trauma. And I've had also body work, somatic healing, energy work. And this is what this card represents for me. It's like helping me. It helped me to really pull out some of my memories in me because I had a hard time getting to them. And energy workers and body work, I had a lot of craniosacral done. Some people get Reiki done. I just found craniosacral was really powerful for me. And it really helped me along. It helped push me along, but I used it alongside my therapy. And I think it's very important that I say that, to have both of them. This is like body work therapy. This could mean just therapy for you, or it could mean body work. Maybe you are in therapy, and it could mean, you know, maybe you might want to use this as an addition to what you're doing. Look into some body work, some Reiki, some craniosacral, myofascial release. Do some research on the person that you want if you decide that's for you. I don't know why I went into that, but maybe it's for you, Virgo. Because right behind it is the Hangman. And I think this card, the Hangman, speaks to me of, and we're talking about resolution here. I think, you know, there's a real need for you to feel comfortable in your body, to get back in your body. And this is going to help you. This is going to really help you get in touch with getting back in your body. Because I was somebody that didn't want to get back in their body because I didn't want to touch these emotions. I was told when I was younger not to touch them. And so I put them away. And so emotions were foreign to me. And I think this is what the resolution is for you. You have the Five of Wands in reverse. And the Five of Wands is another card that speaks about real conflict going on here. I call this my inner critic card. Sometimes it's the battle of the egos, where these individuals are battling over these batons and saying, you know, my baton's bigger than yours. It's more powerful than yours. And it's a real judgy card of, they're all judging each other. And I think there's a real need for you because there's a real block here. It's in reverse. And there's a real need for you to look at, you know, what are these things that you're telling yourself? When you look in the mirror, you know, our inner critic will come out and it'll say things. And that's all about this Hierophant card here, right? How are you wired? What did people say to you when you were younger that you continue to believe about yourself, and you repeat them in the mirror when you look in the mirror and you tell yourself that? And I think there's a real need for you to, you know, that whole unworthiness thing, to start looking at your, if you get in touch with your body, get back into your body, and that helps you really love yourself more. And I know that sounds corny, but in order to start to say, I love myself, you have to just start real small and start respecting yourself. And that's where I got to that point where I would say, I matter. I like myself now. And not only that, I'm important. I matter to me now. And I got to that. It took me 8 years to get to that point where I could say that I matter now. You know, it's not about other people anymore. It's about me. And it takes a long time to get there. But you got to work on it. You got to start small and believing that you can get there. And so what's the advice from the tarot here? What's the guidance? So you have Eight of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. Eight of Pentacles speaks about this individual that is very passionate about what they're doing, because the pentacle can refer to your workspace. And you know, I never said it, but maybe this is about your workspace. Maybe there's something you want to do that's different. Maybe you want to do something in regards to your job, a different job. Maybe, you know, there's a creative endeavor, there's a creative path you want to take, a different path for yourself. When I say creative, I mean something different for you. And it kind of seems like that, like you're wanting to you want more for yourself, but you're not feeling worthy enough. And this is the card that talks about passion, you know, being happy with what you're doing in life, whatever it is. It's this card right here, and it's in reverse because, you know, I think the universe wants to work on this, wants to bring you, talked about being comfortable in your own skin. There's a Death card here that comes right behind that fell out at the same time with this Passion card. The Death card is in reverse, and there's a real fear on your part to looking at this meaning of this card. The Death card talks about that there are things in your life that need to go. people in your life that you need to let go of and maybe break away from, to get some distance from them, whether it's letting them go, going no contact. And you know what this means. It's a general reading. Maybe it's a job you need to let go of. Maybe it's toxic people around, but you know what it is. But there's a need on your part to do it. I know you're fearing it right now. And I'm going to say to you that once you work through this unworthiness you have, the shame that you have here, you're going to be able to do this. It's just going to come. It's going to be, oh, I can do this now. But right now there's a part of you that's going, I can't do this. I know I'm not worthy of this. And who do I think I am? Which is that wiring, right? And I think you're losing a lot of sleep over this. And there's a memory around this. And this Nine of Swords says there's a memory coming up here for you. This is what the Nine of Swords talks about. This individual that's, waking up at night, having nightmares around it, having sleep issues. Maybe you're losing a lot of sleep. When that happens, I know that it's my ego self blocking something that's coming up. There is something about this that you need to get to. And, it must have been a time when you were younger or maybe part of your childhood where you really felt unworthy. Something made you feel unworthy. People in your life when you were younger made you feel unworthy, and you need to get to that. And the Knight of Swords is coming out here, and I love this as a last card for you. This is another freedom fighter. So this is your second knight in the deck. We talked about there being two of them. And again, it's this one that's pulling you, wanting freedom from oppression, and it's really pulling here. It wants to do this. And it has the sword in their hand because that is your authenticity, the sword of truth, the sword of authenticity, the one that wants to cut through the bullshit. You're wanting to get to what the hell happened here. Why do I feel like this? You're wanting to heal. And I think your first step really is to get in touch with, this little love seeker here. What sort of love didn't they get when they were younger? I think you need to really get in touch with some of your unworthiness. I'm going to leave you with a playlist on, maybe a playlist on shame, just to try to figure out, what is it about, how do I feel about myself? How do I start to journal maybe from this unworthiness that I feel about myself? You can have a look at that. And before I leave, I'm going to read this oracle card that I got for you. It's called the Feast of Plenty. Choices and their consequences. Has two swords on here, right? Two swords, choices and consequences. Beautiful card. The quartz and the bee and your truth here, right? Choices and consequences. A great feast is laid out before you and requires you to choose. What will satisfy your hunger? Something new and unconventional with its potential for bitter or savory qualities, or something you already know you love? Wow. You are faced with a plethora of options right now, and while that may seem to be an extraordinary thing, too many choices can throw you off balance. You might be worried that once you commit, you won't be able to turn back or refuse to confront the consequences of the decision. The most important thing to realize is that the feast is offering you experience. No amount of overanalyzing or strategizing will help you make the right choice right now. Yeah, because that's your ego self in your head, right? Don't debate the right or wrongness of it. And that debating is this Hierophant card. How have you been wired, and how are you saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't, or that's not what, that's the debating part. The rightness and the wrongness. Instead, just choose. And the choosing is the seed of experience. And that is what is necessary right now. I love that. Choosing. In the choosing is the seed of experience. I'm going to use that as the name of this. Sour, bitter, sweet, savory. What matters is relishing the experience until you digest all that your choice is offering you right now. Only one morning. Avoid the same choice if it keeps you hungry. If something didn't feel good or does not bring you what it seemingly promised, do not choose that again. The experience will only repeat itself and you will have more than a bad taste in your mouth. And that's the experience of this little love seeker here that keeps inviting the same types of people in over and over and over again. The feast is yours to enjoy. You can always go back for more when you're hungry again, for life's blessings are ever available to you and calling your name. Wow, it's a beautiful reading for you. So Virgo, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through right now. This is the most difficult journey, moving toward your authentic self, you know, putting yourself first. But that is the most important one. It's the most difficult one, but the most important one. So I'll talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.